Hey guys, it's Taylor here. Welcome back to a fucking another week's video. I look like shit. Okay, I'm in my pajamas. I was not putting on makeup for a video for you guys. I'm sorry, I look kind of gross. But you're gonna see all sides of me. So, let's get back to another week's video. If you're new here, my name's Taylor. Make sure to like and hit that subscribe button. There's gonna be videos, as many videos as I can possibly make within my free time before I go back to school. So I wanted to do a video regarding mental health. I know I did a couple mental health videos on my channel before, but I kind of really wanted to share my story with you guys, like my mental illness, how it came about, how I dealt with it, and stuff like that. I'm not going to try to do the whole entire story because that'd be a very, very long video, and I don't want you guys to sit through that. So my depression started around 6th grade-ish. I started struggling with depression really bad. I was being bullied. I was called a slut. I was called a whore. I was called fat. When I would walk down the hallway, they'd all go, moo. And I was very skinny. I was struggling with thyroid issues. I literally lost 50 pounds. I looked anorexic. So imagine looking anorexic and people calling you fat. It really bothered me, and I would try and make myself, not eat or whatever, just so that I would lose the weight because they thought I was so-called fat. And around that time, I was searching for this feeling of how to relieve this pain, and that's kind of when self-harm for me came into the picture. And one of my friends was doing it, so I thought it was okay for me to do it. Fast forward to about my 8th grade year, that was when I wrote my first suicide letter. I thought I ripped it up and threw it in the garbage, but I guess my study hall teacher had found it. She taped it back together and she read it and she gave it to the principal. And I went home and I had this whole plan, and then the principal called literally right when I was about to do it, and they had to call someone called SAS, and pretty much they assess you to see if you have to go to the psych ward or if you just need therapy. And I didn't want anyone to know I was depressed or that I was struggling, so I just lied, straight up lied, and I started group therapy. Fast forward to about my freshman year of high school, my depression was really bad. During 8th grade going into freshman year, I was on cheer and we had summer camp, and I had cuts on my wrist, but I had I had my wrist brace on because I was a base, and my friend had saw my cuts when we were running, and she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, I got 3 dogs, and I fell or whatever." She's like, "Oh, okay." And then she saw more the following week, and she's like, "Did your dog scratch you again?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then at the end of practice, she pulled me aside, and she's like, "Those aren't scratches from your dog, are they?" And then she messaged me later, and I told her the truth. And she's like, "Promise me you'll message me when you feel like doing that again." She was the only person that knew. And then it wasn't until school actually started, one of my really good friends had found out, and she told my mom. And that's why my mom found out. And I told her I'd never do it again. And then I just continued to do it. And then I was cutting almost every day, every other day. I'd run upstairs real quick. I'd cut a couple times, and then I'd, wash it off so that it looked clean. Then I'd come back downstairs and I'd act like nothing had ever happened. And then it finally got to a point where my social worker had told me that, she can't, there's nothing furthermore she can do to get me to stop. I feel like I needed extra help. So I thought, go to therapy 2 times a week. No, that didn't happen. I ended up being hospitalized, and I was there for a month, got discharged, did outpatient, went back into inpatient, and then came out. And it was around that time that my eating disorder really kicked in. That was around the first time, the couple times that I started making myself throw up. And nobody found out until my sophomore year of high school. I'm trying to remember who found out. I think it was the guy I was dating at the time that found out. And then he had told, I'm trying to figure out who he told. I don't know if he told anybody. I don't remember. I think he told somebody. I don't remember. I think he told my physical science teacher. And then my physical science teacher pulled me aside. And she said something really sweet to me. We still talk. We're still very close. And then it was around junior year was when it got really bad. Like, it was totally out of control. I would eat breakfast, and then I'd make sure I eat it really fast so that when I went to the bathroom, I was able to puke it all up right away. And then I made my dance team that year, and I would literally buy a bunch of chips. I would go sit in the bathroom, I'd eat them as fast as I could, and then I'd puke it all up. And then I'd go back out, and, my eyes would be bloodshot and everything. And around that time, my math tutor found out, and she said I have to call my mom and tell her. So I did, and I told her that I'd stop, and then I was still doing it, and every time I did it, I just wanted to cry because it was so much mental torture on my brain, and I had enough. Like, I didn't want to do it anymore, but at the same time, there was this thing in my mind telling me, you can't stop, you gotta keep going. And then I think I slowly just stopped. I think with therapy, I kind of learned, like, coping skills on how to, there was one point in time I made myself throw up so many times. I was sitting on the bench at school, and my hands went blue, and I was literally freezing, and literally the room was, like, spinning, and all of a sudden, I guess I went to the floor, but they didn't know that's why I fainted. I told them I think I just hadn't eaten today yet. And so I think it was after that point, it was a wake-up call that, like, I needed to stop. Fast forward, I had my ups and downs, and then I graduated high school. My anxiety was the main thing I struggled with really a lot throughout high school, with having panic attacks and anxiety attacks, and my depression. That was kind of like where I was still struggling. And then freshman year of college, I got extremely depressed for some reason. I don't know why, but I think it was around that time when I was really, really struggling with my sexuality, and I was trying to come to terms with it, and I think it brought me down, knowing the fact of, like, I can't be this way. I think maybe that had been the trigger, I'm not sure. But I started cutting again. My friends had found out, and when we were washing our hands, I didn't know my sleeve had pulled up, and they started literally giving me full body checks. Like, my one friend would literally pin me against the wall and let my other friend check me because I'd hide it. And they'd always end up finding out every time I relapsed. And then, finally I came home from school one day, I told my mom what was happening, and I hospitalized myself. I was there for a month and a half. I came out for 3 weeks, and then I went back in for another week, and I've been out of the psych ward for almost 9 months now. I was trying to make that video, like, really short because I didn't. I want to, like, put this in there. I did struggle with sexual assault multiple times throughout those years. I don't want to get into those, but I did struggle with that a bit. Around the time I was hospitalized, I was diagnosed with bipolar and PTSD, and so they put me on meds for that, and it's helped me tremendously, knowing that that's why I was feeling the way I did. So the whole point of this video is I want you guys to know that you're not alone. If you have depression, anxiety, whatever it is, you may feel alone, but you're not alone whatsoever. So many people in this world deal with it, but they're just so afraid to come forward. Remember, your story is not over yet. And if you struggle with self-harm, let me show you something. I have a tattoo on my arm. Okay. Over here, I'm going to try to show you. It says, I forgive you, with a butterfly. If you cut yourself again, or you relapse on bulimia, just tell yourself, I forgive you for what you just did. You have to be able to forgive yourself and then move forward. You're not alone. I'm always here for you. There's people around you that are always here for you. You're not alone. I know I keep saying you're not alone, but it's true. You may feel that you're alone, but you're not. Reach out for help. Go to a therapist. I know that's scary, but you'll think me later. Having someone to talk to weekly that's not going to judge you and you're just able to vent for an hour, you're going to come out like this whole brick is lifted off your chest. I really hope you guys realize that you're stronger than your mental illness. You're stronger than your demons. There's a lyric, it's called it's by, I forgot her last name, but it's called Inner Demons. And it says, angels, 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 just please keep on fighting and don't give up on me today. Don't let your angels give up. Fight as hard as it may be. Fight those waves that you're dealing with when you feel like drowning. Before you know it, you're going to get back to shore and you're going to be able to breathe again. Those waves are going to happen. They're going to be there. But each time it's going to get easier to get your head above the water. I hope this video helped you guys realize that you're not alone. I'm fighting the same battle you are. I still have days where I lock myself away in my room and I don't want to talk to anybody and I isolate myself. You can take time for yourself and self-care, but there's a difference between that and isolating yourself and slipping into a deep depression. So make sure you note the difference. Alright guys, that's it for this week's video. It's a little long, but I hope one person can at least relate to this video. That was my goal. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for every time I post a video. You will get a notification. Comment below if you struggle with any mental illnesses and how you cope with them and how you deal with them. I'll put all my social media in the description below. I'm always here for you guys, just a message away. Thank you for watching, and I love you so much, and I'll be back with another week's video soon. Bye!